In this week's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about finding where you fit in with the instructional design field. So I'm using Canva this week and I'm doing audio recording only because I had some issues. So the place I started with was LinkedIn Learning. You potentially can have free access through your library. I had to work in an incognito window because it didn't save my progress since I was going in by my library card, but it's a great way to take some courses and see if this is a field that will really work for you. I did the Become an Instructional Design Learner path, which had a lot of great sub classes with it, such as needs analysis, storyboarding. You'll get a really good overview, and it may help you understand some areas that you might want to focus on more. I also recommend programs such as Getting Started in User Experience, or if you find anything on project management, SEO, UX, UI. There's some overlap with some of these, newer fields that require development, learning, educating. Probably need a whole video on how there's overlaps between these fields. You can also sign up for a free trial that could work with your LinkedIn profile. I think it's if you get it through premium. I did not personally do that, but that would link better to your actual profile on LinkedIn so you could share it directly. The other ways, just slightly clunky, but not too bad. You also want to dig into networking on LinkedIn. I listed a few names here, but you could let me know other people. Obviously, I've connected with more and more over the years. You want to connect with others in the field. Look for different areas just than instructional design, or you're potentially interested in e-learning. Look for those buzzwords. Decide if you're ready to put that open to work banner up on your LinkedIn. There's one where you can show it just to recruiters and one that's open to the public. So if you're still working, that's something to consider. You do have to watch out for spam and scams on LinkedIn. That surprised me as I start getting messages from people who are supposedly in the military or cryptocurrency. So, have your filter up about that. You don't want to just go on there. You also want to share and comment on people's posts if you feel comfortable kind of writing some articles, sharing interesting things you find, but really is being that participant in the community. I also spent a lot of time on YouTube as I was getting started. You can find tutorials for software like Storyline, Adobe, if you need to do some web design work. I've listed some people here that have good instructional design YouTube sites, individuals, as well as some organizations. And again, you want to participate. It might be a good way to practice with some of the software, making your own videos. That's something I've been trying, and I'll talk about a little bit more as I get to the last slide. But yeah, like, share, subscribe to these people, really support that content that is out there. And again, it may help you narrow down which areas you want to explore more, because I discovered really quickly that instructional design can involve a very long involved process of analyzing your learners, to potentially developing and designing material, implementing it. In some cases, people facilitate and teach, or go back and evaluate it. It really depends. You may do all areas, or you may focus in on one or two of those areas, but kind of knowing about all of them will help you pick what you really want to focus on. More areas you could network is to really think about developing your community of practice. Who do you want to be in contact with? So I've listed some more here for you. I put an asterisk by Facebook groups because some of them I went to felt a little bit almost like a multi-level marketing kind of thing. Get in here and learn this, and then if you're good at it, you can hire somebody else, or somebody else can sign up underneath you and they can also take the course. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. But it is good to find the industry influencers that you connect with. There's also an instructional design subreddit. I've heard there's also some discourse communities out there. But I say try a lot of different things and then see which one you fit in with best. And again, there's also that looking for an area of specialization. So if you start to discover that you really are more interested in the writing end of it, whether that's for instructional design or in UI UX, or maybe you really hang on to Storyline and realize you're really good at that, you're really good at developing graphics, then you can find communities that focus in even more. Or could you potentially start your own? What kind of groups are missing? And you're always learning, right? So there's also boot camps and academies out there. You can go from individual classes for a few $100s up to $1,000 or $5,000, depending on the level of mentorship involved. I say it's a good idea to try and ask around. Look for what those programs are really offering. See if you can get in contact and ask some good specific questions before you sign up. There's also the higher education round. You can go into graduate certificates to full master's programs where you could spend $5,000 to upwards of $20,000 or more. And then there's other places like Udemy, of course, where you get subscriptions or pay for individual classes at rates like $30 a month to $150 a month. Big thing is always checking who's teaching these courses. With a LinkedIn Learning, you can see that it's been vetted. Not anybody can just go in and add something to that, but look at who's teaching it. Can you find out, are they published? Do they have a good social network themselves? And try and make those connections and get the feel for the instructor that you think is the best fit for you. But there is a good chance most of us are going to have to do some additional learning, if for nothing else, to translate what we already know into terms for instructional design. So I like to joke that I'm never not learning, but this is also about yourself and the career. What do you bring to it and what do you want from it? My next video, I'd like to play with something. If you have suggestions for a software, let me know, to think more about why, and maybe why you're interested in this field. Why was I interested in this field? And why am I talking here at the end with no video? Well, I discovered with Canva that you could add some videos, you could embed them, you could record yourself presenting, which is what I'm doing here, but adding in the video part, actually my computer was having a really hard time with it, and it wasn't quite as intuitive as, say, maybe a Camtasia or something like that. And it did seem like there were more features available if I signed up for the free trial, which was 30 days. And after that, you'd have a charge of $119 or $12.99 a month. I decided against that right now. There are a lot of great features that are offered on Canva that aren't just presentations. There was video, there's audio. So it could be a really great tool depending on the type of work that you're doing. However, there do seem to be a lot of the same features that you could do with a PowerPoint or a Google Slides. Maybe don't have this kind of more modern contemporary look, but perhaps if you did a little study with graphic design, you could figure out how to do some of that for yourself. So that's just a few of my thoughts on playing with this. It was kind of fun to play with. I'm not sure right now that it would be my go-to, but I do find it intriguing. So please let me know what else you would like me to explore software-wise or topic-wise, and I will come up with a why and decide what I want to cover next. Thank you.